Hey folks, welcome back to Gaming Garbage, where we take a look at games, chat about the gaming news in the industry, and of course, stream for fun. Today we're talking about something that no one's really talking about, which is PlayStation lawsuits, and it's because of the store. Now, a lot of us already heard about the United States one, which was already settled, but there's just got to be some adjustments. I don't believe the amount is changing. Yes, you do see that right. Just under $8 million for the United States, which sounds incredibly small with all of the users that are actually in this country. But ultimately, it's taking a look at PlayStation and engaging in anti-competitive practices and restricting the sale of digital PlayStation games to only the PlayStation Store, thereby eliminating competition and causing consumers to overpay for their games. Because it's a monopoly, right? Now, updated as of January 2026, basically a federal judge said there were major deficiencies, and they're going to work on clearing up some of those things to make sure that they can actually pay consumers correctly according to the law. And not too much is really going to change there again. It's not the amounts, it's just how they're going to pay them and all of that kind of stuff. But it's not just the United States anymore. This is out of the United Kingdom for a total of 7.9 billion US dollars, or 6.3 billion pounds. Which is crazy. And yeah, it nearly affects 9 million people in the United Kingdom. And again, it's ultimately really for the same thing. Now, the court filing is that the court is actually going to start hearing this in 2026. So that's going to be for the UK. And boy, yeah, 8 billion to US dollars, that is a ton of money. Also, too, if you wish to sign up for this, maybe, you can. And this is the reason why it's so big is because this is taking place for the egregious practices of Sony, apparently, between 2016 to 2022. Now, that's a heck of a lot bigger span of time than what the United States lawsuit was, which is partly why it was so small. But yeah, this is looking over, what is that, 7 years? It's a lot longer period of time. And this is all actually an opt-in automatically. So you don't have to do anything. If you're already registered with PlayStation Network, you're basically going to be getting your money, whatever the lawsuit comes out to be. For taking a look at when this is actually going to kick off, just wanted to actually highlight this since it was on another website, is March 2nd, 2026. So I'll be taking a look at it then. And the thing is that there was a final appeal from Sony that was dismissed in April of 2024. So things are moving very, very, very slowly. Okay, this is taking a while to get there. But yeah, the trial is roughly going to take 8 weeks. And we'll see what happens. There's also one going in the Netherlands. They filed last year in 2025. We heard this in February. And the trial is going to be going to 2026. And here is actually the organization that is suing them, but has also sold Google and TikTok and some other kind of big names. So they've done this before. And they're calling it the Sony tax, which I think is kind of hilarious. But again, it's exactly the same thing. And if you want to actually apply, you can put it out right here. And basically, now they're saying November 29, 2013 on PlayStation 4 and 5 to basically present day. Now, and this is even a bigger time than what the UK has, which was 2016. So it's even a wider amount of time. And again, this roughly affects a little under 2 million people in the Netherlands. And yeah, I mean, this is going to be continuing on in 2026. Also, we're taking a look at Portugal. Omnibus is a company also going to be suing PlayStation for exactly the same reason. And again, since 29 November 2013. Sony has engaged in practices that will affect the controlling and drastically restraining the production and distribution of digital and physical video games, add-on content, game library services, and online multiplayer services. So we've gone from making the time frame bigger for the bad practice, but also expanding the amount of content, what types of content can be included in that, because now it's DLCs and it's like PlayStation Plus and all of this other stuff on top of also physical and digital games. I mean, they're just expanding on everything. A lot of this is kind of boring to read. But again, this is the Portugal court case. And again, this is supposed to be starting, I believe, in 2026. And again, they filed in 23. And yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Now, if you do take a look for different countries, I have been researching this for a while, and these are the only ones that I can find. So yeah, if you just type in the country that you're looking for, AI will mess up and be like, yeah, there's a lawsuit, which no, that's not the case because they pull up the one from Denmark or from the UK or from Portugal or whatever. So these are the only ones that I've heard. So again, the United States isn't changing. The one in the UK is going to start in 26. Netherlands is going to be 26. And then I believe also so is the Portugal one is going to start in 2026. So there's quite a few lawsuits, and PlayStation is looking at billions of dollars potentially that they're having to pay. Now, of course, since this is past practice type of issues with Sony's PlayStation Store, well, this can basically happen in any of the other countries. Now, this is actually PlayStation's website and the country selector. And as you can see, there's actually quite a few. There's roughly, I think it's like 80 here. Roughly 80 are actually presented here in this list. And so if other countries wanted to go make some more money, they could actually do that. And again, it's not just individuals coming forward as citizens saying, hey, I'm getting screwed. I want to have a class action lawsuit. This is now actually countries going after PlayStation. And I don't know why anybody is not talking about this. I think this is actually pretty big news because, as we know already, that when we take a look at PlayStation, there's their revenues, at least quarterly, are not overly good. They have a hard time getting to 10% and actually staying there. And generally, a company that's healthy and showing growth is 12, 15%. And over that is even a heck of a lot better. But we even look annually. And again, since 2020, even with COVID money, they've had a hard time actually sticking to over 10%. So they're not super healthy. And if PlayStation, falters or kind of fails, or whatever, like in the future, which is possible, I guess, for any country or any company, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. PlayStation is a massive staple of Sony. So if PlayStation goes down or has to pay out a ton of money, then so does Sony, and Sony is then a big issue. Sony has removed several categories from their business that they're no longer playing in, and PlayStation has just gotten bigger over time. They still have music, they still have movies, and they still have finance, but pretty much Sony is over 33% of the entire business now. And it just continues to get bigger. So, yeah. So if they have to pay billions and billions and more countries start coming in and being like, hey, we want a piece of that pie. These ones already won. It's going to be some easy money for us. And the thing that I was curious too is why does it keep being November 29th, 2013? Well, that's when the PlayStation 4 was actually launched. And like a big focus became the store. And so, yeah, here we're laying down the groundwork. And so 2026, I think, is going to be pretty big for PlayStation because, again, if it shows that these countries can win against PlayStation, then other countries, the other 70 plus, can jump on board and make some money. And that's going to be detrimental to Sony. The fact that even just paying several billion to the UK potentially, that's already going to hurt, right? And they're going to have to finagle that through the rest of the decade and not have it completely kill their stock and their earnings and all of that other stuff. But if other countries are doing it and jumping on and wanting hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars in their own currency or in the euro, that's going to be another issue too. And we still don't have Canada. We still don't have Mexico. We still don't have, France or Spain or Italy or Taiwan or Japan or Australia. I mean, it could be in any of these other countries that have quite a few players. And so, yeah, I don't know why no one's talking about this really, but 2026 is going to be an interesting year for PlayStation, I think. And not necessarily the ways that we thought, but it could cost them a lot of money. So thanks for tuning in, folks. You can always follow me over at Gaming Garbage 22 if you'd like. You can like and sub there. There's various content every week, and if something's not for you, don't sweat it. You can just skip right on through and wait for the next thing. There's also Twitch at Don't Tread on Thee, and when I stream and play games, I'll definitely chat with you guys in the chat if you'd like to. But if you'd like to be a silent partner, hey, you can do that as well. Excuse me. But yeah, this is just interesting. I'm going to be keeping track of it. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one.